Welcome back to NBC Update channel. Today we will learn about the shocking developments unfolding in Salem as the town prepares for a momentous celebration while tragedy strikes unexpectedly. The DeMera family finds itself at the center of a crisis that will leave viewers on the edge of their seats, while beloved Horton family members return to commemorate 6 decades of history. As Days of Our Lives marks its 60th anniversary, the show delivers an emotional roller coaster of dramatic moments, heartwarming reunions, and revelations that will shape the future of Salem's most iconic families. The terrifying incident. Monday's episode of Days of Our Lives delivers one of the most heart-stopping moments in recent memory when young Thomas DeMera's emotional outburst leads to a dangerous confrontation with traffic. The crisis begins when Thomas catches sight of his father Chad DeMera sharing what appears to be an intimate moment with Kat Green in the town square. A scene that reignites the boy's anger and frustration over their complicated relationship. Unable to contain his rage and feeling betrayed by his father's apparent disregard for his feelings, Thomas unleashes a verbal tirade, shouting that Chad cares about nothing except Kat before making the impulsive decision to bolt into the street. The sound of screeching tires fills the air as both Chad and Jennifer Horton Devereaux watch in absolute horror, frozen in a moment that seems to last an eternity as they fear the worst for the young boy. While the immediate aftermath remains shrouded in suspense, sources indicate that Thomas's encounter with the vehicle may not result in the catastrophic injuries initially feared, though the psychological impact of this near tragedy will reverberate through the family for weeks to come. Jennifer's maternal concerns. The incident leaves Jennifer Devereaux deeply shaken as she processes the trauma of watching her grandson nearly lose his life in such a horrific manner. In the days following the incident, Jennifer seeks solace and guidance from her longtime friend Kayla Johnson, sharing her mounting concerns about Thomas's emotional well-being and the volatile state of his mental health. Jennifer's worries extend far beyond the physical dangers Thomas faced. She recognizes that her grandson is struggling with profound emotional turmoil stemming from his father's complicated relationship with Kat Green and the lingering grief over losing his mother Abigail. During her heartfelt conversation with Kayla, Jennifer expresses her deepest fear that Thomas's impulsive behavior could escalate further if the underlying issues aren't addressed. And she worries that the family might not be so fortunate the next time Thomas acts out in such a dangerous manner. Despite her legitimate concerns and the gravity of the situation, Jennifer refuses to let this family crisis prevent her from participating in the upcoming memorial celebration for the Tom Horton Free Clinic, demonstrating her commitment to honoring her family's legacy even in the midst of personal turmoil. The return of the Hortons. As Salem prepares for the grand gala honoring Dr. Tom Horton and the opening of the clinic that bears his name, the town welcomes back several cherished members of the Horton family who have been absent from Salem for far too long. Monday's episode features the highly anticipated returns of Marie Horton and Mike Horton, two original family members whose presence adds tremendous emotional weight to the anniversary celebration. Marie Horton, portrayed by the legendary Mary Cheatham, who originated the role on the very first episode of Days of Our Lives back in November 1965. Makes a particularly poignant appearance as she becomes the last surviving original cast member to grace the screen during this historic milestone. The return of these beloved characters serves multiple purposes within the narrative, providing not only nostalgic touchstones for longtime viewers, but also creating opportunities for meaningful interactions between generations of Hortons. Mike Horton's arrival proves especially significant. He crosses paths with Chad DeMera during this tumultuous period in Chad's life, and the two men discover unexpected common ground that forms the foundation for a surprising friendship. Chad and Mike's unexpected bond. The developing relationship between Chad DeMera and Mike Horton emerges as one of the more unexpected storylines to come out of the anniversary celebration. Mike's return to Salem for the Tom Horton Clinic Gala places him directly in Chad's orbit at a time when the troubled father desperately needs someone to confide in about his mounting personal problems. Chad opens up to Mike about the escalating situation with Thomas, sharing his fears about his son's emotional state and his guilt over the role his relationship with Kat Green has played in destabilizing Thomas's sense of security. The conversation between the two men proves therapeutic for Chad, who has felt increasingly isolated as his family drama has intensified. And Mike's perspective as both a medical professional and someone who has weathered his own share of family complications provides valuable insight. Beyond discussing Thomas's troubles, Chad likely also confides in Mike about the complex web of deception involving Kat Green, who initially posed as Chad's deceased wife Abigail in an elaborate scheme orchestrated by the criminal Clyde Weston. This burden of betrayal combined with Chad's lingering feelings for Kat and the chaos it has created within his family weighs heavily on him, making Mike's empathetic ear all the more valuable. Jeremy uncovers family secrets. The anniversary celebration takes an intriguing turn when Jeremy Horton, one of the newer additions to the Horton family tree, begins digging into his family's extensive and colorful history. Driven by curiosity and perhaps a desire to better understand his place within this legendary Salem family, Jeremy approaches the family matriarchs Julie Williams and Marie Horton to request stories and insights about the Horton family lore. What begins as an innocent inquiry into family history quickly evolves into something more substantial as Marie and Julie begin sharing tales that reveal surprising secrets, scandals, and hidden chapters from the Horton family's past. The storytelling sessions are punctuated by moments of laughter and levity as the elder Hortons regale Jeremy with amusing anecdotes and humorous recollections from decades past, creating a warm intergenerational bonding experience. However, beneath the surface of these seemingly innocent conversations lie revelations that could potentially reshape Jeremy's understanding of his family and perhaps even impact current relationships and dynamics within the Horton clan. These scenes serve the dual purpose of entertaining longtime fans with references to classic storylines while also providing newer viewers with accessible entry points into the show's rich history. Holly and Tate's academic project. Meanwhile, another storyline centered on family history unfolds as teenage couple Holly Jonas and Tate Black embark on an ambitious class project that will immerse them in Horton family history. The young students have been assigned to create a film for their cinema class, and they've chosen to focus their creative efforts on documenting the rich legacy of the Horton family and their profound impact on Salem throughout the decades. This project requires Holly and Tate to conduct extensive research into Horton family memorabilia, photographs, documents, and artifacts that chronicle the family's journey from the show's inception to the present day. As the couple delves deeper into their research, they begin uncovering fascinating stories and historical moments that connect to their own families and relationships in unexpected ways. The process of creating this documentary-style video brings Holly and Tate closer together as they collaborate on the creative aspects of the project. From interviewing family members to selecting archival footage and crafting a narrative that honors the Horton legacy, their finished video product promises to become a centerpiece of the anniversary celebration, offering viewers a meta-narrative that celebrates days of our lives itself while advancing the current storylines. The grand celebration. All of these individual storylines converge at the highly anticipated gala event, celebrating the opening of the Tom Horton Free Clinic and honoring the memory of the beloved patriarch who represented the moral center of Salem for decades. The celebration brings together virtually every major character in Salem, from the returning Horton family members to the current generation of residents who continue to shape the town's future. The event serves as more than just a party. It represents a moment of reflection on the values that Tom Horton embodied: compassion, integrity, service, and family principles that continue to resonate throughout Salem, even in his absence. The gala provides the perfect backdrop for the show's 60th anniversary celebration, allowing for special flashback sequences and throwback moments that honor the show's history while propelling current storylines forward. Viewers can expect emotional speeches, particularly Jennifer's address to the assembled guests about her father's legacy and the importance of carrying his mission forward through the clinic that bears his name. The celebration also creates opportunities for unexpected encounters between characters who might not otherwise cross paths, potentially sparking new conflicts or alliances that will drive future storylines. Heartwarming anniversary moments. As Days of Our Lives commemorates 6 decades on the air, the show delivers numerous touching moments designed to resonate with longtime fans who have followed these characters and families through generations of storytelling. The anniversary episodes feature carefully curated flashback sequences that showcase iconic moments from the show's history, reminding viewers of the dramatic events, romantic milestones, and family celebrations that have defined Days of Our Lives over the years. These throwback elements are seamlessly woven into the current narrative rather than presented as standalone retrospectives, ensuring that the anniversary celebration feels organic to the ongoing storylines. The return of beloved characters like Marie Horton, who appeared in the very first episode of Days of Our Lives in 1965, creates a powerful sense of continuity and demonstrates the enduring nature of the show's legacy. The presence of multiple generations of Horton family members at the gala emphasizes the themes of family legacy, tradition, and the importance of honoring the past while embracing the future. For fans who have invested decades in following these characters and their descendants, these anniversary episodes provide a satisfying celebration of the show's remarkable longevity and cultural impact. Days of Our Lives continues to prove why it remains one of the most beloved and enduring daytime dramas in television history, masterfully balancing high-stakes drama with heartwarming family moments while honoring its rich legacy through this momentous 60th anniversary celebration. The combination of returning favorites, current storylines reaching critical junctures, and the exploration of family history creates a perfect storm of compelling television that will keep viewers engaged and emotionally invested. As Thomas DiMera recovers from his terrifying brush with tragedy and the Horton family gathers to celebrate their patriarch's memory, Salem once again demonstrates why it remains the most dramatic and captivating town in all of daytime television. Part 2. Days of Our Lives Recap. A sweet celebration turns bittersweet as old wounds reopen and hidden agendas stir in Salem. Friday, November 7, 2025. Distractions and desserts. Salem never stays quiet for long, and today's episode of Days of Our Lives reminded viewers that even a simple family celebration can stir up a storm of emotions, regrets, and complicated history. What begins as a sweet afternoon of ice cream and laughter soon becomes a tangled mix of guilt, nostalgia, and uneasy alliances. A day that may seem innocent on the surface, but one that reveals just how fragile peace in Salem can be. A celebration with a cloud overhead. Outside the Brady Pub, Jennifer Horton Devereaux tries to lift her grandson Thomas's spirits. The boy, still smarting from being grounded for his Halloween mischief, isn't quite in the mood for celebration even though his glowing report card deserves it. Jennifer, ever the optimist, suggests pizza or a big ice cream sundae to cheer him up. Her maternal warmth shines through as she reminds Thomas gently that being a good student means little if he doesn't also learn kindness and self-control. Her tone shifts when she says, with the firmness of a true Horton matriarch, "Never hurt another person, Thomas, not even someone you can't stand to see." The words hang heavy in the air. Just as a familiar and unwelcome figure arrives, Gwen. Jennifer's eyes harden. The tension between the two women is palpable, a mix of resentment and restraint. Gwen, trying to keep things light, offers a half smile, but Jennifer's frosty civility speaks volumes. When Thomas innocently invites Gwen to join them for ice cream, Jennifer quickly shuts the idea down with a polite but firm, "Maybe another time." Gwen takes the hint and the rejection in stride, though the sting is obvious as she turns away. Inside the pub, a quiet conversation turns conflicted. Inside, Chad DiMera is doing his best to console a visibly emotional Leo Stark. Leo, nicknamed Lion by some of his more affectionate friends, is struggling with grief and confusion over losing little T, the baby who briefly made him feel like he could be part of a family. Chad, who knows something about loss himself, leans down to offer comfort, reminding Leo how far he's come since their rocky beginnings. Leo, ever quick with a quip, jokes about the old Leo who would have schemed to get the baby back. Beneath the humor, though, is heartbreak, and Chad can see it. The unlikely friendship between the former enemies has become one of mutual respect, even trust. But the fragile moment doesn't last long. Gwen enters, shattering the uneasy calm. Her presence brings tension like a sudden chill in the room. When she tries to make conversation, Chad's expression turns cold, his politeness stretched thin. Gwen may have made efforts to rebuild her life, but forgiveness in Salem is never easy, especially from those she's hurt most. Old friends, old scars. After Chad joins Jennifer and Thomas at another table, the mood lightens. Jennifer and Chad share warm laughter over old times, their friendship a comforting reminder of their shared past and the family they both fought to protect. Across the room, Gwen watches them, her eyes softening with nostalgia. For all her scheming and bravado, there's something undeniably human about Gwen in this moment, a woman who once wanted to belong, and who now stands outside that circle, alone. Her melancholy doesn't go unnoticed. Leo, still uneasy from their earlier exchange, senses something more behind her sudden reappearance. "Richek," he asks cautiously, "what do you really want from me?" Gwen wastes no time getting to the point. She's received word that Dmitri von Leuschner, her old flame and partner in crime, has been spotted in Curacao. She proposes a partnership with Leo to track him down, suggesting it could make for a sensational story. It could be the break we both need, she tempts. But Leo hesitates. His days of chasing chaos are behind him, or so he tells himself. I don't want to know what he's been doing, Leo says, trying to close the door on that chapter of his life. Gwen, however, knows how to find the cracks in his resolve. She appeals to his curiosity, his sense of unfinished business, and even his heart. Don't you want closure? She presses softly. Leo falters. He insists he's moved on, that he's done with heartbreak and danger. Yet, when Gwen mentions little T and feigns sympathy, his composure crumbles. His voice trembles as he recalls all the small, tender moments he shared with the child, moments that made him believe he could be more than the schemer he once was. Does my Maddie really have a heart? Gwen murmurs under her breath, half in awe, half in disbelief. At that, Chad and Leo exchange grim looks, both men uncomfortable with Gwen's intrusion and the emotion she's stirring up. As Gwen leans between them, smiling too sweetly, her motives remain as murky as ever. A Horton heart-to-heart. Meanwhile, at the other table, Chad turns his focus back to Thomas. The young boy's mood has lifted slightly, but guilt still lingers in his eyes. Chad offers fatherly advice, wise, compassionate, and a touch bittersweet. We all make mistakes, buddy. The trick is learning from them. Don't keep beating yourself up. Thomas nods, the tension easing from his small shoulders. The two share cake and ice cream, and for a few precious minutes, the world feels right again. Jennifer joins in, telling Thomas about the party planned for later. Mike and Marie Horton are coming to town, and family gatherings always remind her of what really matters. Chad, in turn, compliments her latest newspaper article about Tom Horton, calling it a beautiful tribute. Jennifer's smile glows with quiet pride as Chad adds, "You made Grandpa proud." As Chad heads off to work, Jennifer reassures Thomas that the family will always have his back. "You'll never have to worry about Kat again," she promises. "You and Charlotte mean everything to your dad. Never forget that." Her words echo the Horton legacy: resilience, compassion, and the belief that love can mend even the deepest wounds. Reflections and foreshadowing. Today's episode was a tapestry of contrast: sweetness and sorrow, friendship and betrayal, nostalgia and unresolved tension. Beneath the comforting hum of the Brady Pub, old scars were reopened, and unspoken desires flickered to life once more. Gwen's sudden interest in Dmitri hints at trouble brewing beyond Salem's borders. Leo's aching heart and Chad's steady kindness remind us that redemption, though difficult, is never out of reach. As Jennifer, Chad, and Thomas share dessert, the spirit of the Horton family endures a light in the darkness of Salem's ever-twisting stories. But as Gwen slips back into the night, one can't help but wonder, is she chasing Dmitri or running from herself?